Good evening all, and thank you for joining us for our Player of the Season awards tonight. It's a slightly different evening admittedly to our usual end of season dinner, but circumstances obviously have led us to having a virtual gathering to present our awards. So the running order for this evening, Vic will be joining us shortly. He'll just give us a bit of a summary of the season, pick out some of the key highlights just to remind ourselves. And we've got 4 awards to present. So we've got the Official Supporters Club, the Disabled Supporters Club, SAS Travel and Swindon Advertiser. So just a big thank you to everyone at home for joining us. Thank you to everyone involved with this evening. There's quite a few of us on the call tonight. And a big thank you to everyone who's purchased one of our Champions t-shirts so far. They will be being shipped from this Monday, so look out for those in the next week or two. Now, without further ado, I will bring on our host for this evening, which is Vic Morgan.
Hannah, very good evening to you. Hope you're well.
Vic. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much indeed. Yes, this is a very auspicious occasion. So we are limited on time because we are aware, of course, that the playoff final kicks off at 7:30. So there's a great deal of interest in that, I'm sure, to see who will accompany us up into League One next season. So, Hannah, if you'd like to say a few words, then we'll get underway.
Yes, thanks, Vic. So yeah, just to kind of reiterate the running order for the evening. So Vic will provide a quick summary for us of the season so far, some of the key highlights. We've got 4 awards to present, and then we will be having a chat with the winners, who I shall not reveal. And yeah, we will hopefully have time for a little bit of a Q&A at the end, time permitting. So if you do want to drop any questions to our winners, please leave them in the comments, and we will try to get through a couple, but no guarantees on time today. Now, I will disappear for a while. I'll leave you on screen, Vic, and just give me the cue when you want people added in.
Hannah, thank you very much indeed. Just to say that the 4 awards this evening, the Official Supporters Club Award, the Disabled Supporters Club Award, the SAS Travel Club Award and the Swindon Advertiser Award, which you may well be aware goes back to 1964 when Ken McPherson won that award all those years ago. What a season this has been, of course, truncated by the events of the coronavirus pandemic. And of course, many of us will want to pass on our best wishes to those who may well have suffered throughout this awful time. What has happened, of course, is that our favourite football team has won the League 2 title via points per game. And so therefore, let's hope that that never happens again in terms of that's how a season is resolved. But what a season it's been. We've seen some magnificent football from our team. Many will remember the away game at Crawley, the away game at Northampton, which is our last away game, of course, which saw a fantastic winner from Jordan Lydon, and a memorable New Year's Day down at Plymouth, when we had a tremendous 2-1 victory in a rain-soaked home park. But many highlights throughout the course of the season. That wonderful 13,000 crowd at home against Exeter, when the atmosphere was quite magnificent. It wasn't the greatest day for a football match, but what a great day it was in terms of the atmosphere and indeed the result as well. So therefore, we have led to this point where Swindon Town are now League 2 champions and heading for League 1 next season, whenever that may be. We have no idea when that may start, but of course, as soon as it will be, we'll be vitally interested to see how the town perform. So I think it's without further ado that we get on with the awards tonight. And let's start off with the Official Supporters Club. So I'm delighted to welcome Chris Kyle, who would be the presenter of the award, and tell us who has won the Official Supporters Club Player of the Year. So Chris Kyle, if you'd like to join us. If we could just hear from Chris.
Can you hear me?
We are. Yes, we can.
Brilliant.
A very good evening to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. Always a prestigious award, of course, the Supporters Club, great backers of the football club. So maybe you would like to reveal your choice and tell us why the Supporters Club have voted that way.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Vic. So our members have been voting over the last couple of weeks, and I've had the pleasure of collating all the votes together, and it has been very, very interesting. The way that the votes have come in, it's been one player, one player, one player, one player. It's been like that all the way through, which I think is testament to the way the season's gone. It has been a team performance season. So that really shows in how the voting has gone, certainly for the official supporters club. So the winner, and by a massive 2 votes, so it was that close, and I did double check. I did go through it again and double check. So the player that it's gone to has become a firm favourite at the county ground. Fans' favourite, on its way to be a legend. So hopefully they stay and become one of those. It's been a season of recall dramas, which gives a clue. Very emotional reunions and lots of goals. And certainly one of the best terrace chants that we can imagine. Very untypical because there's no swear words in it. So it's from 2 to 92 can sing along with it. So I think you've guessed that our player of the season is Owen Doyle.
Just waiting for, and there is Owen Doyle. Thank you very much indeed. Congratulations, Owen, and congratulations, Chris. You'd like to pass on your best wishes, I'm sure.
Yeah, congratulations, Owen. Well deserved. As I said, there was 2 votes in it, so it was very close. But everybody who voted had they got in their emails and their votes come and say, "Oh, it's so hard this season. We don't know who to vote for." So congratulations.
Thanks very much, Chris. It's an honour. I don't think I deserve it. I definitely wouldn't have voted for myself, but I'll take it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well
have
done.
you got a trophy there, Owen?
I have, yeah. Sorry.
Let's have a look. Yeah, let's have a look. Magnificent. There we are. How is your trophy cabinet? Is it getting bigger by the minute? How's it going?
It's the kids have took over. Anytime I come home, it ends up in the kids' bedroom. So they claim everything really in this house.
Chris touched on the terrace song there. I mean, I have to tell you, as a 64-year-old bloke, suddenly singing the Ginger Palais song halfway up the stairs is something that happens a lot in my house. And that song is synonymous with your season, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's obviously a great song. I think a shout out to Marley for giving me the nickname, and yeah, it's a catchy old tune, and it was obviously great to hear, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Owen, thank you for the moment. We will talk in greater detail a little bit later on. But Owen Doyle then has been named as the official supporters club player of the season. Chris, thank you very much indeed for that. That takes us on to the Disabled Supporters Club. And I'm delighted to say that joining us to announce the award winner in that one is Lee Carlin and Connor Wood. So if they'd both like to join us now, and they would announce the winner of the Disabled Supporters Club award. Lee, a very good evening to you. Connor, a very good evening to you. So if you'd like to announce why the player has won and who's won, that would be great. Thank you.
Good evening, Vic. Hope you're well.
I'm very well, thank you. Lee, thank you. Yes, indeed. And likewise to you both too. So who and why has your player won?
I've invited one of our disabled group members on to announce the winner. A very worthy winner in my eyes. So Connor, if you'd like to say a few words and announce the winner of the Disabled Group Player of the Season award.
Of course. We all took a vote a few weeks back, and like you, Lee, I think we all feel that this player is very worthy of his performances this season. The winner of our award is, once again, Owen Doyle.
Well, let's see if we can get Owen back again. And there he is.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, lads. Really appreciate it. Again, I don't think I deserve it, but thank you.
I have to say, Owen, in 50 odd years of watching the town, this is one of those rare seasons where any player is up for this kind of honour. Would you not agree? This is a squad season, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You look at even the impact of Paul Caddis coming in a few games into the season and the impact he had on the team. You look at obviously Granty's consistency throughout. You even look at Hunty's consistency playing both fullback positions all season, and you're always gonna get a 9 out of 10 out of Hunty. The goalkeeper. Listen, there's too many players to mention. honestly, I'm a top-in merchant, and I'm very grateful to be involved with in such a good team.
Wonderful. Anything else you want to say, Connor or Lee? And before we move on to the next award.
No, congratulations, Owen, and we hope to see you next season.
Yeah, please God, thank you.
Well done, mate. Just keep banging in next year for us, eh?
Cheers, Connor. Thank you.
We're going to ask that question later, Owen. You're not got rid of that one, believe me. Lovely. Thank you very much indeed to both of you for that. And congratulations once again to Owen, who's won the Disabled Supporters Club Award. Now, the next award is the SAS Travel Club. And this is a magnificent organisation run by Mark and Sally. And I have the pleasure of travelling on this particular organisation's coaches over many, many years. So first and foremost, thank you very much indeed to them. Let's introduce Sally Carter, who's going to announce the winner of the SAS Travel Club Award. Sally, a very good evening to you.
Hello, Vic, you all right?
I'm very well, thank you. And Sally, thank you very much indeed for all the work that you do, getting us to far-flung places like Carlisle and places like that every Saturday. So we appreciate it very much. Thank you. So if you'd like to name your player of the year and why you've chosen, thank you.
Okay, so first of all, we'd just like to thank a couple of our regular travellers, which is Kim, Carol and Lynn, for their help stewarding the coaches, because without their help, we wouldn't be able to run as many coaches as we do. And also the continued support of the Supporters Club. So for our player is for the away player of the year. So on the way home from every game, everyone travelling with us gets to vote for their man of the match. Then the top 3 players get points towards our league table. So the results for this year is 3rd place with 12 points was Jerry Yates. 2nd place with 15 points was Owen Doyle. And the winner scored a fantastic 24 points and managed to finish in the top 3 on 7 consecutive games at the end of the season. So SAS Travel's Away Player of the Year for 2019-2020 is Anthony Grant.
Anthony, let's have a word with Anthony Grant. There you are. Let's have a look at your trophy, Anthony. Hold it up.
There you go.
Marvellous. And the League Two Championship medal as well. How about that? Sally, I mean, I know we've shared many journeys together to all far-flung places. And the one thing that always strikes me about Anthony after the game, he always talks to the away fans, doesn't he? Always comes around and has a word.
He does, yes. It's always noticed that, you know, you do spend the time talking to the fans. And I think, you know, that's very much appreciated, especially when we've sort of travelled miles and miles, sat for ages on a coach. Getting 3 points is great, but also the interaction with yourself and the players that have had with the fans this season has been fantastic.
Thanks for your kind words, Sally, and thanks for the trophy and whoever voted for me. It's a privilege.
I just remember one very wet Saturday at Crawley, Anthony. You must remember that, where you spent ages shaking the hand of every single Swindon supporter that was there, I think, didn't you?
No, it was a good day. I set up Owen Doyle for one of his goals. He got a hat-trick, ended up winning the game 4-0, and my whole family was there. So that was a good day for the away fans and everyone that attended.
It certainly was a great day. Sally, thank you very much indeed. And thank you also for the work that you do, which is fabulous, getting us there and back safely. So thank you. Anthony, thank you for the moment. And we will be talking to you again, I'm sure, and asking you several questions about what may or may not occur. So get ready for that. Now, let's go back to 1964, when this award started. The winner, Ken McPherson, you may well remember him. Amongst the previous winners of this, Mike Summerby in 65, Mel Nurse, 66, Don Rogers, 67, Stan Harlan, 68. John Trollope has won it on several occasions. Peter Eastoe, who may well be, I guess, the 1970s version of Owen Doyle, if you think about it. Signed on loan, scored goals, signed permanently. Chris Kamara has won this award. Sean Taylor, a previous winner of this particular event in 1995 and 1996. He was one of our on the sofa guests fairly recently, as was Sam Parkin and Matty Taylor, of course. Now, I'm delighted to say, from the Swindon Advertiser, previously known as the Evening Advertiser, Neil Beck joins us. Neil, a very good evening to you. We can't quite hear you, Neil. If you could just turn on your audio, that would be lovely. Lovely.
Happened to me. Yeah, thanks. How are you doing, Vic? Right?
I'm very well, thank you, Neil. You will be aware of the history of this particular trophy.
I am indeed. Yes, I'm afraid the trophy is locked up in the Adver's office. We're all working from home, and yeah, I'm afraid we haven't got it to present tonight. Hopefully, in the very near future, we'll have that to do at pitch side when this is all over. Let's hope so. But the history of the award, yeah, some amazing names on there, and I'll touch on this in a moment. But it's easy to forget. This is only the 4th title the club has won in 141 years, so massive achievement. And I guess that can be taken. You can overlook that a bit with the way it's happened and the circumstances recently, and the celebrations. I know the players and the manager were, wanted. The fans there desperately wanted the fans there to celebrate, and it feels like a shame, doesn't it, that didn't come to pass. But hopefully, in the not too distant future, everybody can celebrate what's been a wonderful campaign together. And the recipient of this award does join an absolutely illustrious list of names, really, and it just shows the history of the club. And we're proud to have had that award, to present since 1964. First of all, I'd just like to thank the Supporters Club for having us tonight. We weren't sure how we were going to present this in the circumstances, and thanks to all the supporters who voted in the poll on the Adver's website too.
Can I just quickly ask you, Neil, before you reveal the name of the winner, what is happening with your staff at the Advertiser? Because I would imagine it's a pretty skeleton crew at the minute, and some supporters might be wondering why coverage isn't as it was. So just let us know what's happening.
Absolutely, yeah, no problem. No, so our sports reporters are on furlough at the moment. So Johnny Learfield is on furlough at the moment, so unable to present the prize tonight. As Johnny would have loved to have been able to do that, and as obviously covered the club home and away. Sean Reynolds, who was left just before the pandemic too, so we're operating without sports reporters at the moment. We're trying to we've got news reporters who are covering for that, but obviously we realise that there's been a reduction in the coverage. Again, it's coincided with a huge achievement, hasn't it? So that's a pity, but we just hope that ad revenues, now we're coming out of lockdown, will pick up sufficiently, and things will go back to how they were. It's tough times for the industry, and obviously we've launched digital subscription service and tried to make it easier for the advert to be delivered. We've got offers, and we really have called on people, if they want the advert to continue, through these tough times, as they're tough times for everybody, that we need to be supported, really, because everybody likes to have their news for free. And I guess in news.
Is that a news hound, Neil?
Yes, that's a news hound. I did warn my wife that should happen for sure. I think when you're holding power to account, authority to account, and that sort of thing, it's really important that you have an institution like the Adver, which every town, city in the country needs that trusted source of news. We've been there a long time. It was tough times anyway before this, and without any advertising much advertising revenue through March and April, really, it's been difficult. But we have seen a little bit of it's picked up a little bit as businesses start to reopen. So that all sounds a bit doom and gloom, but those are the circumstances, I'm afraid. And obviously the decision was taken across Newsquest, really, for sports reporters to be furloughed at this stage. I realise there are other newspapers that do have sports reporters continuing at this time, but as soon as we can get back to normal, the better.
Well, that's good to know.
And any welcome to email me, neil.back@newsquest.co.uk, or our editor Pete Gavin, with any questions you have about the coverage. We're always happy to answer that. So,
well, that's good to know, and I wanted to clear that up because obviously people would want to know that. Right, this is, as we've said, a very prestigious award, way back to the 1960s. Yeah. Who and why do you think? And what was the result, first and foremost, of your evening or Swindon Advertiser Player of the Year?
Well, so I've got a little bit of a spiel, but yeah, I did want to thank the sports. I wanted to thank for hosting us obviously tonight, and I do want to congratulate Richie and all the players and his staff on a huge achievement. So we'll get, I want to say that on behalf of the advert, on behalf of our staff, we're really proud that this happened. Swindon Town, huge importance to the community, huge importance to the fabric of the town. So, to put smiles on faces at a difficult time, thank you to all of you for doing that. And for that, that achievement, it doesn't, it's really lifted the spirits of anyone, who follows the club. So, so well done, everybody. We were really sport for choice. I did lean on Johnny, who's watched all of the games home and away for the shortlist. He gave me a choice of 6. It turned out our website was only capable of taking 5 names. Sadly, this is how it works. So we had to narrow the shortlist down to 5 for the vote. We did have some, there were names there that would have deserved to be on the shortlist. Most of the squad would have deserved to be on the shortlist. As it turned out, 6,700 people voted, so which is really good. Shows you how keen, fans were to get involved and how enthused they were about the season. It did develop into a 2-horse race between the 2 chaps we have already heard from this evening. So, obviously one of them has scored 25 goals in 29 matches. Any other year, that would probably be an open and shut, decision for most supporters. He's broken records. He's, made national headlines, but obviously had a rival for this award in the shape of somebody who now transpires has been shaking the hands of every supporter who travels to matches and made influence on it. I don't know. We'll find out. So anyway. So the winner, with 50% of the votes to the runner-ups, 43% of the votes, was Anthony Grant. And Anthony's, lots of reasoning, lots of arguments in the comments section, which raged on. Much nicer to see an argument about Brexit or any of those other things that we get. At least, the comment section is interesting. But the reasons the fans gave Anthony's on the call now. Boston midfield, always gave everything, always mentally strong, superb player, an absolute rock. And I thought, simply the best player on the pitch in so many games. Was probably the nicest thing anyone had to say about the nicest thing they had to say. So well done, Anthony. Congratulations. Sounds like that was fully deserved. And you joined in a famous list of names there.
I don't know what to say really, apart from thanks. Obviously, thanks to everyone that voted for the award, and it's much appreciated.
How much does that matter to you then, Anthony, that you have got this incredible relationship with the fans? I mean, it is one of those that's very, very rare on a football pitch that a player has that relationship. What's that matter to you? I mean, that means a lot, I guess.
It always matters that the fans care about what you do and they take to you. Obviously, it helps you perform probably better, that they're not on to you every week, and helps you express yourself.
Well, Neil, thank you very much indeed, and we wish you well, of course, for the future of the Advertiser, because obviously
thank you. And I just want to say, Anthony, hopefully we'll get the chance to present this to you next season when you sign that new contract. Okay.
I've heard that so many times. Thank you, Neil.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. We'll have a word with the 2 winners in a moment, a longer word, but I just wanted to summarise what we've seen tonight so far. 4 trophies presented, split between 2 players. The official supporters club was presented by Chris Kyle, and the winner was Owen Doyle. The disabled supporters club presented by Connor Wood and Lee Caharlin, Owen Doyle. The SAS Travel club that was presented by Sally Carter, and the winner Anthony Grant. And the Swindon Advertiser Player of the Year presented by Neil Beck, and that was won by Anthony Grant. So then, gentlemen, 2 each. Not a bad result tonight.
No, I'm not happy. He's not beat me, but he put them 2 votes in, him and Caddis.
I can't believe you've been out hustling for votes by shaking everyone's hand out of the way. I would have had a clean sweep here if it wasn't for you out doing that.
43% to 50.
We should say that this is these interviews are going to be recorded, and so you can hear on the Loathed Strangers podcast review of the season. So you'll be able to catch these interviews as well a little later. Let's start off talking about the season then, gentlemen. You both joined after the start of the campaign. Owen, a great way to start, a debut goal at Exeter on a bright sunny day. How were you? What did you know about Swindon when you came down, and how quickly did you settle in? Pretty quickly, I'm guessing.
Yeah, obviously I knew the manager well from playing under him previously. He made it very easy for me to sign. He kind of showed me how he was going to play. I kind of half knew how he was as a manager and stuff. So it was very easy for me to come down. The lads were obviously great. I think I signed the day before the game. So there was a quick Friday training session and then straight down to Exeter. And yeah, it was nice to get off the mark on the debut as well.
Yeah, how important is that for a striker? Because, you know, we talked to strikers before who struggled a bit at the beginning, but to get a goal in your first game, you immediately settle down, I guess. Yeah,
it's huge for a striker. The earlier you can get that first goal, the better. It kind of takes the pressure off you a little bit, so you can go out and kind of be more natural, I suppose, on the pitch. So no, it was great to get. It was late on as well in the game, so it was nice to get the equaliser that day.
Yeah, it was. I know it was early in the season, but Exeter went top, you went top, everybody went top. You know, it was one of those days, wasn't it? Really great following, of course, as you had throughout the season, which was always important, I'm guessing.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, obviously, I think back to most of the away games, especially Plymouth away, Northampton away. Especially Northampton, was a very, very cold night. The fans were brilliant, very loud that night, very vocal, and they definitely got us over the line. And obviously, with the way the season has finished on the points per game situation, you think back to them moments when the fans were there to kind of nick them odd results, and it stood to us now in the way the whole situation has panned out, and it's kind of got us over the mark, so we can win the league by a fraction of a point as it's turned out.
Yeah, we'll mention those away games in a little while because there were one or two really memorable moments. Anthony, you too joined after the start of the season. You came on at Leyton Orient, didn't you? And I thought that first, you know, that for a while that was almost a faultless performance, wasn't it? You conceded a goal in the second half, but it was one of those faultless away performances, really.
Yeah, the team dug in, done well. Jerry scored, Keshi and Rob. It was a good team performance. That's what I think put it down to promotion this season. That obviously you got Doyley being greedy and scoring all the goals. But no, we got a good team, and that's what it comes down to, is that everyone plays their part and gives it on a plate for Doyle to score.
I mean, how about your move then? How did that come about, and how quickly did you hear about it? And you know, there you are, you're playing for Swindon.
Yeah, it took probably about 2 weeks, to be fair. Like, Gaffer wanted me through the door before Cheltenham, but obviously there was delays, and then once it happened, trained like Doyle done the day before the game, and then was on the bench at Leyton Orient, and then the rest is history.
What comes across straight away is the banter between you two, and I'm guessing between the squad. Because, you know, it always has seemed this season that there's been a great team spirit, and that's carried you through, obviously, to the League Two title. Is that fair to say?
I'll let Owen speak on that one.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think this is where, like, you have to hand it to the management and the recruitment team, and they done their due diligence on the personalities that got into the dressing room. They obviously asked us, did we want to sign Anthony Grant? And we all said, no, he's a nightmare, don't sign him. He didn't listen on that one, but no, definitely, there's not one bad egg in that dressing room, and everyone enjoys each other's company. There's some great characters. It's a really, really great place to go in and work.
And I guess, Anthony, there were times when you were called to drop back a bit as well, weren't you, because of injuries and things like that. And I guess as long as you're playing, you don't care where you play, do you?
No, we know as a team that we can defend as a team, and we've got the firepower up front with Jerry and Dyler. Obviously, brought in Hope in January. So as long as we keep the back door closed and we've got Bender in goal, we'll keep a clean sheet or concede one, but then we'll go and score 3 or 4.
We'll talk about signings in a minute, but I'm guessing the words Paul Caddis might be quite important, mightn't they, in this? Because he's won a league before with Swindon, only player to have to win 2 titles. How important is Paul Caddis?
Yeah, I think he's huge for us. Yeah, he's the Trent Alexander-Arnold of League Two. He's kind of like a bit of with his right foot and his vision. He can kind of open up things from that position. Obviously, all the fans have seen him before when he was creating history previously. So, no, I think he was a great addition to the squad, definitely, and I think that was seen on the pitch.
All joking aside, Anthony, if you've got somebody up front who is scoring goals, we should never forget Jerry Yates in this, because he had a fantastic part to play in this season. But if you have somebody up front who you know is going to score if they get the opportunity, that's a great thing for a team, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't call Jerry a striker. I'll call him left wing. No, it is good for the team. But obviously, we know we got goals throughout, so anyone could pop up on a day like Keshi, Doughty, Kane Woolery, Izzy. So we got goals all around the team. But obviously, our main focal point was Jerry and Owen, and we brought them in to score goals, and that's exactly what they done.
How much pressure did Jerry Yates take off you, Owen? Because he did a lot of work which people didn't notice most of the time, but he worked really hard, didn't he?
No, he's great. He's a workhorse, yeah. And I feel sorry for Jerry. I'm confident that if it was him that was playing that lone striker role, he'd be the one that had scored all them goals this year. But to be fair to the kid, like the effort he put in when he had to play out wide or whatever, he was still chipping in with goals. And I think he still might be second or third top goal scorer in the league. So he's a great player with a bright future, and he's been massive for us this season, definitely.
Well, we'll get to the future a little later, because there are questions we have to ask both of you. I think you know what those questions are going to be. Let's talk about one or two key games then. We mentioned Exeter away, but what about Exeter at home? I mean, those of us who are old enough to remember great atmospheres at the county ground, that was a special, special day. Must have been horrible to play football in those conditions, but what an atmosphere.
No, the atmosphere was brilliant. Obviously, full house, got the win, got the job done, and got the goals in that. But yeah, no, it was a good experience to play in that game. And obviously, you had Ginger Pele coming back and Yorkshire Pele coming back. So it lifted the stadium and lifted the boys. And obviously, we didn't want to let the fans down, knowing that these two big hitters had come back and then put in a bad performance. So we all upped our game an extra 10% and got the result.
I think you were conducting the crowd before the start of the game, weren't you, Anthony, at one point with the Ginger Pele?
Yeah. Chasing votes. He was chasing votes for the Player of the Season award.
I wish I had scored one goal, let alone 25.
Yeah, but your job was doing something else, which was quite remarkable. Owen, how close were you to getting that goal that you were credited with? About 20 feet? What were you close to?
I don't think I was that close at all.
So look, who's paying for goals now?
I know, yeah. Yeah. No, I was nowhere near it. I just made a run across the near post and it went well over my head. And I think the keeper actually punched it off their own defender's head and it went in. There's obviously a bad shine on the telly that day. And it was a bit hard to actually see what happened. So just seeing me running off, I think the commentator might have said, Owen Doyle scored for Swindon. I would have took it, like, I'm not going to lie, but no, it definitely wasn't it wasn't my goal. No, he's nowhere near it.
No, it's fair to say. And who is this, Anthony?
Oh, my little boy. He's found me. He's found me in the house. I've tried to hide, but yeah, now he's got all of my medals and Daddy's kit.
And what's his name?
Maximilian.
Maximilian, hello to you. Very nice to see you.
Say hello. Yeah. You gonna go back downstairs? Okay. There we go.
How important is family support to you both? I mean, Owen, we often see videos of you painting fences and things like that. It is quite a big support to you, isn't it?
Yeah, my family's huge, yeah, and obviously the manager knew that as well. I wasn't asked to leave where I'm living, which is Liverpool. He was kind with days off and stuff, so I could kind of stay up here with the family and they're everything to me. Obviously, it's why I play the game now, is to support them and the support they give me. Obviously, to go out and do the job is that's brilliant, yeah.
And you, Anthony, obviously, you know, lovely little boy there. Things are good with you?
Yeah, he loves every time he sees a Swindon kit, he's going, Daddy football, Daddy kit. I want to go and kick a football. So nice that he enjoys it, but keep him far away from football.
Let's talk about other key games then. Northampton we'll get to in a minute, but let's talk about New Year's Day, because it was a huge game, wasn't it? In pretty foul conditions in the end. You went a goal down to Plymouth. And as somebody who lives in Devon, I have to say thank you very much indeed for that day. It was wonderful. And then you got the equaliser. And then that wonderful moment, Owen Doyle, when you just moved away from the defender and slotted it into the corner of the net. Take us through that goal.
Yeah, obviously it was a great move. think Dowds played it out to Cads, and Cads put a great ball in and managed to get it in front of the defender and slide it by the keeper. But obviously, when I was celebrating, I just seen a gap appear between a couple of stewards, and I said, I'm going for it here. So I just jumped over the board and then into the fans. And yeah, that's probably the best feeling I've ever had in football. Like, I've won cup finals and stuff and scored some big goals, but that feeling getting into the crowd that day was such a great feeling. The smell of beer, I was half jealous I wasn't in there myself. But it was really enjoyable. And obviously it was the occasion as well. It was the day that they opened their new stand, and there was 18,000 there. We'd gone a goal down, and obviously DJ done great to get the equaliser, and then obviously to get the winner later on. When I scored that goal, I actually thought it was the 86th, 87th minute. I asked the ref and he said, there's 15 minutes left. I was like, oh no. I thought I jumped into the crowd too early, and then things kind of come back and bite you sometimes in football. Yeah. And but thankfully that didn't happen. So no, great day, great occasion. Just on that as well, I kind of knew going into that game I'd be going back to Bradford. So like, without any of the lads knowing or anything, before we went down there, I actually had to pack up my boots and all my stuff out of the county ground and put them into the boot of the car, half thinking that I won't be back. So it was nice at the time to feel like I was going off and with a good send-off.
Yeah, we'll get to your move back to Bradford in a moment. But Anthony, how big was that result down at Home Park? I mean, it was massive, wasn't it?
No, it was massive. Obviously, Doyle already said, they opened their ground, and I don't know how many were there because Doyle shut them up anyway. So, yeah, no, it was good because obviously I was playing centre-half with Zeki, and then we had Lyden and Rose in midfield and DJ in the hole. So obviously we didn't start too well, but then we grew into the game and everyone started to stamp their authority on the game, and I felt like we deserved the victory. And the away fans were frightening. I think Salford, Plymouth, and Exeter at home, and Crawley away was probably one of the big followings that I really enjoyed playing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. What a great atmosphere it was in the away end. You enjoyed it as players. I tell you, as away fans, we enjoyed it hugely. And then came the news that you were on your way back to Bradford. Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy that little spell back at Bradford, Owen?
No, not particularly. No.
You not see the highlights, Vic?
Your first game was at Crawley, if I remember rightly. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, he missed an open goal.
Yeah. I was going to say that, but you said it for me, so thank you.
No, it wasn't the best experience I've had. I spent more time in the manager's office than I did in the training pitch, I think, when I was up there. But I was glad it kind of got resolved in the end.
And did you know Swindon were trying to get you back? Was that in the back of your mind all the time that you wanted to come back?
Oh yeah, throughout the whole thing, Swindon were trying for it not to happen. The club worked really hard to try and stop me from going back. Obviously, the power was in Bradford's hands, and they called me back. I had told them I didn't want to go back and play for them and stuff, and because it was a season-long loan, and my contract was actually up there as well. So it was in the summer, it was more of a see you now that's you're gone. So I was disappointed to be called back. And then throughout the whatever it was, 3 or 4 weeks I was there, it was a big push to get back down to Swindon. And to be fair to the club, they were brilliant and how hard they pushed to make that happen. They stuck by me because it did happen late on in the window. And now I'm just thankful it happened in the end.
When we talked earlier, Anthony, we said about having strikers up front who could score goals, and suddenly there's a big hole in the team, isn't there, with both Jerry Yates and Owen Doyle going back to their parent clubs. How was the squad with that? How did you feel? Is it a case of just getting on with what you have?
Yeah, we obviously knew that a time will come where Doyle would get called back and Yates might have to go back. So we worked on it in training, obviously, and we can't feel sorry for ourselves. And obviously, we had to deal with Doyle at Bradford for a couple of weeks. Wasn't nice. I missed him. I'm not going to lie. And Jerry went back for a few games as well, but we weren't going to. Yeah, it was just one of them things that happen in football. And obviously, they came back and now we got.
Well, all right, let's talk about Friday, shall we? Because obviously, we as fans, we've missed that and we want to see it when it's done properly with us in the ground. We all want to see that. The manager has told us on this particular spot that he'd love to get a game between the 2012 winners and you lot. And then have the presentation again, which would be amazing. Tell us about Friday. You're seeing your mates again, let's be honest. How good was that?
That's a strong word, Vic.
Yeah,
That's a strong word.
Acquaintances. No, it was great. Obviously, not seeing the lads since I think it was the 11th of March, maybe, or something like that. So to get back down and see everyone was great. Bit crap in the sense you have to keep socially distant, and we weren't really able to hug each other, and there was no funny handshakes like some of the lads like to do, Anthony. And it was, and obviously the big loss and not having the fans in the stadium. Usually they're really, really good days where there's a lot of noise and a lot of atmosphere, and it just felt a bit flat because all you lot weren't there. So that's, I think, what the manager said there. It's a great idea. Yeah, I'd definitely be up for that.
Yeah, that would be a fantastic occasion. So that might well bring me to the questions that I'm going to give you a little later, which you've had plenty of time to think about these questions, so you're going to give me the answer that you want to give me. What about that, Anthony? Because the fans, as we've mentioned with you, are a huge part of the game, aren't they? And what have you thought about watching games on television with no fans in the stadium? Have you watched much of them?
Yeah, I have. I watched it in my downtime, but it's not the same. Obviously, the fans are a big deal in football, so don't let fans ever think that they're not part of football. They're everything that players need and want, and yeah, we need them back, basically.
Well, we need to be back. What are your personal highlights, would you say, Anthony? What have you gleaned from this season which you will take with you forward?
Assisting Owen Dyer at Crawley away felt brilliant. Now
I thought that was a tackle when you crossed. I thought you were tackling someone.
Because obviously it's not my job to assist. It's just to basically clean up and give the more attacking players freedom to go and express themselves. So obviously when I got a nosebleed and got into the box and somehow found Doyle and he scored, it felt like I had scored. I got hairs on the neck of on back of my neck, and I was like, "Whoa, is this what it feels like?" Yeah, but that was a good feeling. And then obviously Doyle got a hat trick, and it was a good day at the office.
It was a great day at the office. Owen, your favourite? I mean, are there favourite moments, or do you take the whole season as a whole?
No, there's definitely favourite moments. I quite enjoyed looking at Anthony doing all the slide tackling and bullying the midfield throughout the season. He's obviously a big plus for us, having someone like that in the middle of the park, breaking things up, and his distribution spot on as well. Obviously, I think a big moment would have been the Stevenage win at home. Yeah, I think we were on a bit of a bad run of form at the time, and I think that on paper that should have been an easy win for us. But as the night was going on, it was difficult to break them down. We weren't really firing on all cylinders, but we managed to get the win in the end, and I think we really kicked on from there. Obviously the Plymouth at home game was a good game as well. I think there was a good atmosphere at that. They brought a good crowd. That was an enjoyable game. But obviously for me would have been the Plymouth away game. Obviously I mentioned to Salford away as well. Anthony had already said it, but that was a good atmosphere. The away fans travelled really well up north, and that was a good one. Yeah, but definitely for me that game on New Year's Day.
Anthony, a game like the Stevenage one, the manager highlighted that to us on when we did an interview with him the other day. But a game like that, where you dig out a win, is that as satisfying as if you win 4-0? You can get what I'm saying, because you still get the 3 points, and you've had to really earn those 3 points. Is that as satisfying? Hello, Anthony.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, say that again, please.
Is a 1-0 win against Stevenage late on like that, is that as good as winning 4-0? Because you had to dig that result out, didn't you? Late goal.
Yeah, like obviously Doyle said it already, was going through a bit of a bad patch, but obviously the gaffer in training and all the boys was that stick to what you're good at. And we just carried on. We didn't get a goal in the first 10 minutes. We didn't get a goal in the first 20 minutes. And then got to half time, but we were still doing the right things. And then up to when Doyle scored, we were still doing the right things. And we came in at full time, and Gaffer was like, you carried on doing the right things. We didn't change our game. And we got the 1-0 win. And then look what it led on to. We ended up going, 10 games unbeaten?
Yeah.
So it's just like listening and taking on board. And a win's a win to me. We could win 1-0, 2-1. As long as the 3 points are on the board. Look what it led to. And now I'm a champion.
Yes, you are. And I think it was Crawley the Saturday after, wasn't it? So that was a good platform to go there the week after.
Was it? Yeah, I didn't even know that was the next game that followed. Yeah, but
Neither did
yeah,
I.
it was a big win. To be fair, I prefer the 3-0s and 4-0s than the 1-0 wins last minute. I think after the
Yeah, because that means you get more goals.
but I think after that Stevenage game, as satisfied as we were, there was a sense of relief in the change rooms after that we got the 3 points, and I think that definitely turned the season around for us.
In terms of that, then you have that incredible run of goal scoring. How do you feel during that run? Do you know you're going to score when you go out? Do you feel you're going to score? How do you feel?
No, I don't really think about it too much, if I'm being honest, going into the games. I've said this loads, and people are probably sick of me saying it, but I'm very, very blessed with the talent that was around me this season. There were so many good attacking players in that team. Even when lads were coming out injured, maybe the replacements that were coming in were just as good, and were able to basically see my runs and stuff. So it was for me, like, none of me, if you look back through my goals, and I haven't done any step overs or no goals from outside the box, or nothing special. Like, individually, it's all a matter of how the team worked the ball up the pitch and kind of found me inside the box. So now, going back to your original question, look, I don't really think about it too much. Going into games or whatever, I always feel that if a chance presents itself in a game, I'll have a good chance of taking it, though.
You had a little spell when you came back where you didn't get the goals. You got the 2 against Scunthorpe, which must have been a mighty relief. And of course, it's Forest Green after that, and that was that, wasn't it? No more. What would you hope to have got this season if we'd carried on?
What a liking to break the 30 mark, I suppose. When I first signed, well, the day I first signed, I went into the kit room with the gaffer, and the gaffer said to Steve, what number have you got for Doyler? And Steve goes, 28's the lowest one. The gaffer was like, 28? We haven't got 28 players, have we? And Steve goes, yeah, all the other numbers are taken up till 28. And the gaffer turns around to me and goes, that's okay, you'll score me 28 goals this season, that's why I'll have that number. But obviously I finished three short of that, but once he said that, I think the goal was to get past that and kind of break it. I would have liked to get to the 30 mark.
And how were you, Anthony, with the end of the season? I mean, it was a horrible way to end, wasn't it? Suddenly football stopped just like that. You were due to go to Oldham on the Saturday, and that's it, end of the season. Was it the right decision, do you think, to end the season the way it did? Obviously, you've got a championship medal around your neck, so, you've got a League Two title. But in terms of your feelings about the way the season ended, was it the right thing to do, do you think?
Yeah, it was the right thing to do in the end, because obviously you're looking at everyone's health and obviously teams going bust. Obviously everyone was ready for the season to carry on and hit the ground running, and obviously we lost our last game, so the boys were itching to get back and put W's back on the table. But obviously we've got points per game and we're up as champions.
You are up as champions, fantastic. So then, right, we've been building up to this moment, we have, all the way through this, and every Swindon Town fan wants to know, and don't pretend you can't hear these questions because they're going to ask you. Every Swindon Town fan wants to know.
Battery's about to die here.
I need to go and change the nappy.
Yeah, fair enough. Everybody wants to know what is happening. What is happening with you, Anthony Grant, next season? Do we know?
And next season?
Well, in the future.
I'll be down the job centre, me.
No, what is happening?
No, we're in talks, obviously. Obviously, Richie knows where I stand, and hopefully it will get resolved. It's not nothing major, but obviously we're just enjoying the downtime right now, and obviously now things are opening up. We're gonna go for like a team meal, so there's things that we just need to like sort out and just relax as a team and do stuff as a team first before anything gets rushed. Don't want to rush anything too soon.
I understand that as a player, and I get that entirely. But where would you prefer to be next season?
Well, everyone knows where I prefer to be. I've said that from day dot that I want to be at Swindon next season. So as long as something can get sorted, then and the gaffer's happy and Julie's happy, Hunty and the whole team's happy, and we can get something sorted, then yeah, I'll be back here next season.
Well, let's hope that all comes to
That's
fruition.
Actually, if Doyle's here next season, that means he's got to give me one penny and then I'll sign.
I don't think there's any money left for me if you sign.
Right, we've heard from Anthony Grant. He wants to be at Swindon next season. Owen Doyle, next question. what about you? Obviously, hot property, 25 goals this season. What's happening with you?
Yeah, obviously we've had conversations similar to Anthony with the club. I think it's a bit unfair to commit to anything now from my end or the club's end, because nobody knows what's happening. Just obviously the club has gone 4 or 5 months now with no income. I mean, there's no end in sight really. There's no date for the start of next season, and there's rumours on salary caps and budgets, etc. So I think once all that gets sorted, there'll be a stronger conversation we'll be having between myself and the club.
Have you had an offer?
I've had an offer, yeah.
So what is your position at the moment on that offer?
Well, I have to start recycling nappies out on the washing line if I accepted that offer. That's probably... It's not something that I could accept, and the club know that, and it's not fair for me to come out and just say that the club can't do it. It's just the club are in a situation now where they can't overcommit, and rightly so. Like the club's the security of the club is more important than Owen Doyle at the minute. So once that all gets sorted, there'll be definitely a stronger conversation will happen between us. And like Anthony Grant, if I was to ask you the question, where would you prefer to be next season? Where would you prefer to be next season? Yeah, of course. Obviously, I'd like to come back. Yeah, 100%. With such a good time. Obviously, the fans talk to me and stuff. There's not many places I'd rather be. Yeah. How difficult is it for a player at the moment? Because as you've rightly said, nobody knows when next season's going to start. The financial situation in the Football League, nobody knows what that's going to be like. How difficult is it? Because this is the time of the year when you would be looking around, isn't it? If you come to the end of the contract, rightly so, you've got families to protect. How difficult is it for players at the moment? Well, Vic, it's very difficult for me because I got no goals and 2 assists this season. But if I had 25 goals and 3 assists, I wouldn't be worrying one bit. I'll be chilling with my match balls. Letting the kids do kicky ups. Listen, with all the handshaking you've done at the away games, there'll probably be a GoFundMe page for your contract next year going up soon. Actually, you won't be able to do handshakes next season. That's a point you'll have to do. Yeah, but Granty don't abide by rules. I break rules. Oh, fair. But seriously, you know, it is a tough time for players, isn't it, at the minute? You know, lots will be released, etc. Yeah, there's like 1,500 players out of contract this season, and obviously there might be a wage budget, so everyone's in the same boat. So everyone's just got to be patient, and hopefully things get sorted, basically, and financial opportunities come up from other areas. It is, Owen, isn't it? I mean, is it as easy as it was, I don't know, 2 years ago, where you could shop around when offers came in? Is it going to be that simple this season, or is it going to be take an offer if it's acceptable to you? Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows yet. The market hasn't kind of corrected itself, I suppose you could say. No one knows when the new season's going to start yet, and what type of, I suppose, finances clubs are going to have going into them seasons. So this is a situation that's never been seen before in football, and there's a lot of things like that going on around normal life as well. So I think it's just a matter of take what comes, and we'll see how it all gets shaped in the next few weeks. I'd imagine by the end of July, early August, we might know more. So yeah, no, just hopefully it all returns, and it's all the clubs are in reasonable good tact, and we can all go into the next season competitively. Well, I think it's fair to say that every Swindon supporter would like to see both of you back whenever the next season happens. So if you could take that away with you and just keep that as... Who first, me or Doyle? Well, both of you. Oh. I think it's fair to say. If Doyle comes through the door, then I'll be quite behind. I'll be that close behind him. Marvellous. And it's been a wonderful treat to see you both play this season. So thank you very much indeed for what you've done. Hannah has a couple of questions I know that we had come in this evening before we wrap up. Just to remind you that Owen Doyle has won 2 trophies tonight, the Official Supporters Club and the Disabled Supporters Club. And Mr. Anthony Grant has won 2, the SAS Travel Club and the Swindon Advertiser. Hannah, are you rejoining us with questions that we've had from the audience tonight, please? Oh, yes, we've had a couple in for you. I won't keep you too long because I'm conscious the playoffs are starting in just over 5 minutes. So we'll start off. We've had a question in from Dan, who asks, if Swindon could sign any opposition player that you've played against this season, who would it be and why? I'd I don't know, but the little winger off Exeter stands out for me.
Randall Williams.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's exciting, hard to stop when he gets going. So he's probably on top of my list.
I signed Doyle from Bradford.
I never played against you though. I wasn't an opposition player.
Very true. And so, Exeter or Northampton this evening?
Northampton.
Yeah.
No, Exeter.
Yeah, I just hate playing against Northampton. They're so ugly and horrible. I'll go with Exeter as well. Yeah.
Stinking.
Are you both going to be watching as well?
Yeah, we'll turn it on now. Turn it on now in a few minutes and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can get the TV, probably cartoons on it.
And which ground are you both most looking forward to playing at if you are back here next season?
When you're back here next season, I think it's fair to say.
Depends who gets relegated.
Oh, fair point. Yeah.
Very good.
I was going to say Exeter's or Northampton's. Obviously, the Stadium of Light is a good arena. God, yeah, it'd probably be the Stadium of Light, be the one that stands out. Portsmouth away is always a good one. Ipswich. God, there's so many big clubs. It's going to be a very competitive league next year. Exciting one.
And do you think Swindon can challenge next season either for a playoff push or for the automatic spots?
I personally think so, yeah. If you can keep the core of the group together. Momentum is huge in football. I know we obviously haven't played together in a long time because of the coronavirus and the situation we're all in, but if the nucleus of the team can stay together, we kind of know each other inside out now at this stage, I think we'd definitely be challengers. Definitely top 6, 7 anyway.
Anthony, what are your feelings? Would you say that?
100% if Owen Doyle signs. His goals are massive.
No pressure.
Like you said, if we keep the core of the team together, even though Keshi's left already, but one player doesn't make a team. So obviously, if we keep the core together, then you never know what could happen. Football's a funny game.
Part and parcel of football, isn't it? Players come, players go. That's the way it is. Any more, Hannah? Have we got any more?
Yes, we do have a couple more. So how has Richie's style of play influenced or improved both of your games this season?
Go ahead, Anthony.
He's probably come in, well, no, to be fair, I've known Richie for quite a couple of years now, played with him and against him. So obviously he's come in and probably maybe more of a leader and set an example towards younger players and obviously turned me into a winner.
But obviously I've got a good history with the gaffer, being with him at Oldham. Like Granty, I played against him as well when he was a player. But yeah, he's been huge. I think his attention to detail and how we're set up coming into a game on a Saturday is huge. We always go to win every single game. The homework's always done on the opposition, and he finds out the best way to kind of break them down and how we're going to do it. And more often than not, that's worked. So personally, for me, obviously I don't have to do much out there except stand in the middle of the goal and try to have a few shots in. But he's really enjoyable to play for, and hopefully we can do it again next season.
Definitely. So we've just got one more for you both. So you've both played at several different clubs at several different levels. Who is the best player that you've switched shirts with?
I've never switched a shirt with anyone.
Have you?
No, never. No.
Seriously?
Honestly, yes. If I took my shirt off, I'd have to put sun cream on anyway in the middle of the pitch.
Probably Frank Lampard or Didier Drogba.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Very nice. And do you still have those shirts?
Yeah. I might sell them now. I ain't got a job though.
Gentlemen,
that is it. Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your attendance this evening. It's been wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Would you like to show your particular trophies again? Although, Anthony, I know you've only got one of them because the advertiser one.
See, he's shocked. See what I mean? Why do I always got two? He's always got to have more than me.
Been a wonderful season, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thanks, Vic. Thanks, Hannah.
just before you go there, and I'm sure Anthony will do the same as myself, but regarding listening to Neil there about the advertiser, if there's anything myself or any of the lads can do to help out the advertiser, whether it's interviews or time or anything like that, for them to get in contact with us and see if we can help them.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
Anthony?
just tell him to message me on Twitter, and I'll obviously reply.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know, because local papers are very important. We know that.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. Thank you both very much indeed. Congratulations on a wonderful season. We've really enjoyed watching you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Hannah. See you Saturday, Doily.
Wish we were all coming.
Bring
Hannah,
your
thank
studs.
you.
I'll send an invite in the post.
Hannah, thank you very much indeed as well, and everybody who's worked behind the scenes to get these awards done. To Neil Beck, who presented the Evening Advertiser or Swindon Advertiser Award of Player of the Year. To Connor, the Disabled Supporters Player of the Year. To Chris Kyle for the Official Supporters Club Player of the Year, and also, of course, Sally Carter for the SAS Travel Club. Hannah, thank you very much indeed.
And thank you also to you, Vic. As always, very much appreciated for your support with all of our live events over the last couple of weeks.
And don't forget that interview you can hear again during the Loathed Strangers podcast review of the season. I think Anthony Grant is rather pleased with the trophies that he's got this season. And why wouldn't you be? Fabulous. Thank you very much. Good night to you all. And good luck to Exeter. Hope they do well. Thank you.